Welcome to our house. This is the Screenplay Podcast. I'm your host, Evan Grennis, and with me, as always, a PGA Tour champion, Andrew Novak.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Last week of the regular season. Can't wait to talk about it. We got a few divisions still up for grabs and definitely some big games on Saturday and Sunday this week.
Please check us out on YouTube at Screenplay_podcast. Get on there, like, and subscribe. We are on socials at Screenplay_podcast. You can also check out our website, thescreenplaypodcast.com. On there, you can find our picks of the week early, guest list, merch, and more. New episodes every Wednesday, 8 a.m., wherever you stream podcasts. NFL Week 17 in the books. Fantasy Football Championships complete. Drake May on his way to his first NFL MVP possibly in year 2. We'll see. Let's get into it. First game we're going to talk about here. Ravens, they defeat the Packers 41-24. Backup quarterback versus backup quarterback. Malik Willis versus Tyler Huntley. Both, I want to say, balled out, but Derrick Henry stole the show. Showed why at 31 years old, he is still one of the best backs in the league. 36 carries, 216 yards, 4 touchdowns, 45.6 fantasy points. What did you see out of this game on Saturday night?
Yeah, this is what we've been asking the Ravens to do for a bit now. This is quite literally, it's almost like everybody was chirping him for not playing him last week or not giving him the ball. And they're like, fine, we'll just do it. And sure enough, it worked. Obviously, like Malik Willis got hurt in this game, but it was kind of heading towards this direction. They really had no answer for it. The Ravens ran the ball on like 70% of the snaps in this game. I got them down for 74 plays, 53 rushing attempts. I mean, that's very heavily on leading on the run game. And honestly, when you have a backup quarterback in, like that is kind of what you need to be doing. I thought Tyler Huntley managed the game really well. He made some good plays when he needed to. He wasn't asked to do a ton, but he didn't turn the ball over, which is, key for a backup quarterback being put in that kind of situation. And I think that with this model, the Ravens can be a solid football team going forward. And, I wouldn't really want to face them in the playoffs. I think this is a team that is built in a way that they can get hot and get some momentum.
Yeah, I was actually shocked to see Lamar wasn't playing this game. And when I said that to you, you were like, Henry better get 30 plus carries this week. And he absolutely did. Both Tyler Huntley and Malik Willis, I thought, played very well. They're both backup quarterbacks for their team. They're both very cheap for their team. Tyler Huntley, he's on a 1-year deal, 1.1 million. In 2026, he becomes a free agent. Malik Willis, he's on his rookie deal with the Titans still. He's taken up a $1.4 million cap hit this year with Green Bay. Next year, he becomes a free agent as well. So both of these guys, they're playing well. They're good backup quarterbacks. Where do you think they land next year? Do you think they stay with their team, they re-sign them, or do you think somebody goes out and says, hey, like, we need a serviceable quarterback. Let's bring in Tyler Huntley. Let's bring in Malik Willis. Like, we don't have to pay him a ton, but we can give him like a 2-year deal. Where do you see both of these guys landing in 2026?
Yeah, I think Tyler Huntley should stay. I think things have worked well for him in Baltimore. I think on more than one occasion, he's been forced into action. He's shown that he can win them football games. I think that is valuable for a team, especially a team that has a quarterback who's probably going to take a few more hits because he's running. I think it would be smart for the Ravens to lock him up in that, $5 to $6 million a year range, which puts him in that category of like backup plus quarterback. That it's, Jacoby Brissett's in about that range. Like it's guys like, hey, we are actively paying a backup that we know can function in case something happens versus just throwing somebody in there. And I think Malik Willis has also shown an ability to do that as well. I think of the two, I would maybe see him ending up elsewhere, but I think Green Bay would be well suited to try and sign him, keep him around because he's obviously shown that he can function in that situation. I think he's being a former high pick and having shown flashes. I don't know. It feels to me like Malik Willis could maybe try and test the market, see what else he can get. I really like. Justin Fields saw an opportunity this year where he was able to go do it. I don't think like Malik Willis is quite in that category. Like I'm not really sure a team's going to pay him, 15 plus million a year to be like the guy. I think regardless, like wherever he goes, he'd still probably be in a backup capacity. So probably best for him just to stay in Green Bay because it seems like they like him. The system seems to fit him well when he does have to go into the game. So
For reference, Mac Jones, he is with the
mm.
49ers. He's on a 2-year, $8.4 million deal. So I was looking at that, trying to judge, like, okay, how much can you pay Malik Willis? How much should you pay Malik Willis? Where can he actually go and be successful? I think a guy like Malik Willis needs an offensive coach. He's got that in Matt LaFleur now. Staying in Green Bay wouldn't be the worst, but I've seen this floated around a little bit. I would love to see Malik Willis in Miami with Mike McDaniel in that offense. I mean, I don't think Tua's playing next year or quarterback for them. Like, he's got a big cap hit, but like I can't see him starting for the Dolphins. What if he goes down there to Miami, signs something similar? What if it's a 2-year, $10 million deal, or just over that? 2 million, 2-year, 13 million, something like that. Is that something you would go for?
That would be a weird fit for me. I don't know how Malik Willis would do in a McDaniel offense. It's um I don't know. I'd have to think about that. That
Listen,
that
Malik
seems like a
Willis runs a little
weird.
bit. He's accurate. He kind of fits the Tua mold a little bit, a little more mobile. I mean, I don't hate that spot for Malik Willis.
I could not imagine two more different quarterbacks than Tua and Malik Willis. That is like the opposite ends of the spectrum for me. So I mean, I think Mike McDaniel is very sharp. I think he could, find a way to make something work. I think that offense would look significantly different though with Malik Willis working there. Now I know people have been talking about Lamar going back to Miami, and that would obviously change things as well too. But um, that's still a pretty different claim than Malik Willis as well. So
Yeah, gonna be interesting to see those two in the offseason. I do think Tyler Huntley stays with the Ravens. I think they really like him, and he's very similar to Lamar, same play style. I've heard John Harbaugh say he could do everything Lamar can. Obviously, not to as high of a level, but he can run the same game script type that Lamar can. So yeah, crazy game out of Derrick Henry. Ravens take this one. They go to 8-8. Big game this week against the Steelers. Packers, they're going to the Vikings, and Sunday Night Football for the AFC North is going to be Ravens and Steelers. All right, let's get to another game here. This one was interesting. Doesn't quite have the star power as some of these other games, but Browns, they defeat the Steelers 13-6. We got Myles Garrett, one sack away from breaking the all-time record. The Browns know it. The fans know it. The announcers know it. Like, they couldn't stop talking about it. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they sure as hell knew it. They were more concerned with number 95 not getting a sack on Rodgers than they were about winning this game. What were your thoughts out of this AFC North matchup?
it definitely felt like that a little bit. I mean, every play they're lining tight end up on that side. He's getting chipped. Then he has the tackle and the running back shaded to that side to help. Like every single play, it was just. And I mean, that's not a bad that's not a bad way to go into the game, but I mean, it really was apparent, like almost to the point where I felt like it was almost a detriment where Rodgers was having less guys being available in routes because they were just so focused on it. But I mean, that's the kind of player that Myles Garrett is. I mean, he can wreck game plans, and I think that was obviously what the Steelers were trying to do going into that game. They said, well, "Hey, we're going to take him out of the game, you know, try and win it without that." I mean, it's at the end of the day, I think they pretty much lost the game because they didn't have a wide receiver one. They don't have DK Metcalf, and there was nobody to really catch the ball, nobody to stretch the field on this team. And the Browns were able to take advantage of it and score just enough points to win this football game. And I mean, that's a prime opportunity blown by Pittsburgh, and now they're going to have to try and go beat Baltimore, who's riding it hot.
Yeah, when we look at the stats from this game, the time of possession very similar. Pittsburgh had 30 minutes and 30 seconds. Cleveland had 29 minutes 30 seconds. Red zone attempts: Pittsburgh 0 for 2, Cleveland 0 for 1. So really, neither team was getting to the red zone. This game was played in the middle of the field. And then Cleveland had 2 turnovers. So really, when you go down the stat sheet, like, this is a game Pittsburgh needed to win. They should have won. Should have won. Shador Sanders, he had. I think that was the worst pick of the year. I don't know if you saw it. Uh,
Yeah.
I think that's up there for the worst interception in 2025. Running backwards, guys chasing him. Let's throw the ball across the field, across my body. A big floater up into the air. Um, yeah,
he
I'm
thought
gonna
he
be
thought he was Cam Ward for a second.
for a second there. And he had 2 interceptions this game, and he should have had a third one. There was a third one that he tossed out to the right that should have been taken back to the house for a pick six. So I think he was lucky to only have 2 interceptions in this game. This was like a classic Mike Tomlin game, a game you need to win, your favored AFC North matchup, and you blow a dud like this. Talking about the stats here, we think the Steelers should have won based on these stats, but like you're saying, there is no wide receiver one on this team. Like there's nowhere to get the ball downfield quickly. You have Gainwell and Warren in the backfield who are doing most of the work. But listen, Scotty Miller and Marquez Valdez-Scantling cannot be your top 2 receivers in a football game and have a team expect to win. Scotty Miller gets 7 targets. MVS gets 9 targets. These are guys who are like not even number 4s. These are like number 5 wide receivers, like barely
Yeah.
scratching in. Adam Thielen, yeah, just a absolute scrapyard of players here. And then you get Darnell Washington who goes out. So next week, I mean, we're gonna preview this game in a little bit, the Steelers and the Ravens game, but man, the offensive weapons on the Steelers, they're struggling right now.
Yeah, you just said it. I mean, they're top 3 wide receivers. You're looking at Scotty Miller, MVS, and Adam Thielen. They had a combined 21 targets. They took that for a total of 50 or 60 yards, I think. Yeah, 60 yards
25,
on.
21. Yeah, about 60 yards there.
So I mean, that's completely unacceptable. That's terrible. I get that the Browns have a solid defense, but Rodgers has nobody to go to right now. You mentioned the Darnell Washington. I believe that's a broken arm. He's out. He's not playing. So yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh is going to be super shorthanded. Obviously, Baltimore can really thank that fan in Indy for getting under DK Metcalf's skin. And at this point, to me, it's kind of looking like that mistake right there, losing your brain over there on the sideline, is probably going to be what costs them the playoffs.
Yeah, so next up, Ravens, they're going at the Steelers, biggest matchup of the week. Browns, they are going to the Bengals in a nothing game this week. All right, let's get to Eagles. They defeat the Bills 13-12. Wet, sloppy, cold weather game in Buffalo. 2 teams who offensively from week to week, I have no idea what I'm getting. Let's start with the 2-point conversion try by the Bills at the end of the game. Obviously, Allen missed his guy open in the end zone. Could have hit him, could have won the game, but missed him. Do you agree with going for it for 2 at home to try and win the game, or should they have taken the extra point and tried to push it to overtime?
Yeah, I was cool with it in the moment. It just kind of felt right. The momentum, like, I don't know, the way the offense has been working, like the play was there. Like I would say, like Allen hits that throw 9 times out of 10. Like it was open, the play was there. I didn't have a problem with it. It's not like your season was riding on this game or anything. I was kind of cool with going for the win there. He just missed the throw. It's it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, it's an AFC versus NFC game. Like, Bills aren't going to miss the playoffs because of this. Like, I got no problem with them going for the win there and just trying to get it done. If nothing else, it ended the game sooner, so you didn't have to sit in that horrible weather through overtime. And I mean, that looked absolutely miserable. 40 degrees, pouring rain. I mean, every time the guy was hitting the ground, they were sliding like 7-8 yards. Like, I mean, it was ridiculous. That looked. I mean, I was watching that game, being very glad that I was playing, that I play golf in warm climates most of the time, and I'm not having to deal with stuff like that.
I think I said the same thing to my girlfriend while I was watching the game. I was like, this looks miserable to be at if you're a Bills fan. It's 40 degrees, it's raining, you're down 13 nothing. Your team's doing nothing. Like, I am so much happier to be here watching this on my couch. They obviously come back, could have won the game. I think it's important to note 5 minutes left in the game. So Buffalo scores, they mix their extra point. That's what leads
Yeah,
to them having to go for 2 at the end of the game. You don't really question play calls too much. When I ask you about play calls, you're like, I'm fine with the play call. I feel like you don't question the coach's decisions too much on that. But when you look across the field and Jalen Hurts has 0 passing yards in the second half, he went 0 for 7 in the second half. I think that warrants like, okay, let's take our extra point. Like, their offense clearly can't do anything right now. We'll win this game
but
in overtime.
You
Yeah,
had just said they had already missed an extra point. The conditions, the way they were, how wet it was, like the extra point wasn't going to be a guarantee anyway. Like the last thing I want is missing a second extra point of the game or have some issue with the snap or something, and I don't even give Josh Allen a chance to go win me the game. I really, given the conditions, given the fact that they'd already missed one, they're on a backup kicker anyway. I don't have an issue with it.
I guess if that's the Bills' excuse, the conditions, you didn't want to mess up the snap, I can buy it. I'm just seeing how the Eagles' offense was performing in that second half, and it was clear they weren't going to score
I
in
agree.
overtime. Yeah.
I agree.
Uh,
The Bills absolutely were dominating that second half of the game. They did have all the momentum at that point.
It's wild to me that this is the second time this year that Hurts has thrown for 0 yards in a half. So this game, week 17 versus the Bills, he goes 0 for 7 in the second half, 0 yards, and they win the game. Uh, this happened earlier in the season, week 4 against Tampa. He went 0 for 8 in the second half. They won that game 31-25. So when Hurts has 0 passing yards and a half, they win the game. The Eagles just have some of the
Yeah.
wildest stats. Like if their wide receivers play poorly and their quarterback plays poorly, normally they win. And
Yes.
I can't explain it.
Yeah. Early in the game, it was looking like AJ Brown was headed for a big game, so I was feeling pretty good about my Bills bet. But once that tapered off, I knew my Bills bet wasn't hitting. I mean, if you can get AJ Brown up into that 9, 10 catches in the game, like you got him right where you want him. But five, that's probably going to be an Eagles win.
I'm done trying to figure out the Eagles offense. It's inconsistent. I don't know what it is, but you know what? Their defense is solid from week in and week out. Like this is a defense led team. If they're going to make it to the Super Bowl, if they're going to make a playoff push, it's going to be through their defense. Since they picked up Jalen Phillips, I believe it was in week 9, I think it's the number one scoring defense in the NFL since that move. I know there's some other good defenses that we talk about, like the Broncos and the Texans, but since week 9, since that move picking up Jalen Phillips, the Eagles defense is the best in the NFL. So if they're going to win games, it's probably going to be low scoring, defense led, and that's just how they're going to get it done. Next up, Commanders. They are going to the Eagles, and the Jets. They are going up to Buffalo. All right. A couple weeks ago, we thought we had the game of the year with that Rams Seahawks game. This 49ers Bears game was pretty damn close to it. You were on the 49ers. I was on the Bears. I had Bears +3. You had 49ers -3. The entire game, I felt good about my bet, but I also had no idea which team was going to win. It was just one of those shootouts, one of those great games. Love to see it. This game was electric. Kyle Shanahan, Ben Johnson, two of the best offensive minds in the game. They clash. Neither one wanted to be bested here. Purdy was feeling himself. Caleb was slinging it. What did you see out of this NFC matchup?
Yeah, it was a fun game, man. The back and forth was crazy. That was probably the longest first quarter I've ever seen in an NFL game. I think it was like, the game starts at 8:15 or whatever. It was like 9 o'clock. There was still like 2 minutes left in the first quarter. It was
Mhm.
unbelievable. The game just it was straight shootout the whole time. Offense is flying up and down. Defense couldn't get stops. It was a really fun game, especially if you had guys in fantasy in this game because pretty much everybody got something. Purdy looked awesome. The San Francisco offense, even with no Kittle in this game, they were finally actually running the ball well. They were really hitting their stride. It's super impressive. San Francisco is a team I do not want to play right now. They're playing fantastic football. Uh, my 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 biggest concern for San Francisco right now in the playoffs would be, can the defense hold up and can they avoid bad weather? I think Purdy has had issues in bad weather before. I don't know if it's like small hands. Like they had that weather game, maybe it was last year or earlier this year. I want to say they were playing like the Bills. It was like terrible weather, and he literally couldn't even throw the football. It was like comical how bad it was. So they need to avoid, they really need to win this week against the Seahawks because if they lose, they're going to be one of the wild card teams. They'd be like the 5 seed or whatever. They might have to go to a Philly or go to a Chicago where the weather could be super dicey. Um, so this is going to be a big week for San Francisco because I do think bad weather is one of the things that could actually, like San Francisco is one of the teams that could be very susceptible to a bad weather game.
Yeah, so if they win this game, they will not be leaving home for the rest of the season as long as they continue to play. They have a home game this
Mm-hmm.
week. The Super Bowl is in San Francisco, and with the win,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they get that 1 seed and they'll be able to stay at home through the entire playoffs. If you happen to have Purdy on your fantasy team, you are pretty happy with how he performed throughout these playoffs. 26.2, 30.9, and then this week, 36.92 points, 11 touchdowns through the air, 2 rush touchdowns the last 3 weeks. He's been on fire. CMC's also been getting that work. He had a crazy amount of touches last game. This week, another 23 carries, another 6 targets. He's getting a ton of work. Are you worried all about how much CMC is touching the rock? I mean, touching the ball 30 times a game, week after week after week, like, I'm not sure if that can hold up for what is that, 4 or 5 more weeks?
Yeah. I mean, he's been doing it for a while. I'm not that concerned. Um, I think they have guys they can go to if they need to. Like, look, they can give Brian Robinson more carries, but when you're in situations like this, playing against teams like they're fighting for that, that one spot. They're fighting for that bye. Like, I kind of get it. It's a big game. I don't have too much of an issue with it. It's not out of the norm for McCaffrey to touch the ball this many times. 23 carries is maybe up a bit, but there are times where he'll have 18 carries but 8 catches. That's same amount of touches. It's just how he's getting them. Like when you got a player like that, yeah, you get him the ball. I don't really have an issue with it. I think that's just kind of part of their offense. This was also a game where they had like 70 something plays. Like it was a game where there was just more plays running this game. That's just naturally going to lead to more touches for your guys.
I will give you a shout out, but for this before this game, you texted me and Taco and you said Burden breakout game. He went 8 for 9, 138 and a touchdown. So yeah, Burden breakout game, that's for sure. He did sustain a quad injury on the last play. He's questionable for next week, so got to keep an eye on that. Last question here on this game. Caleb Williams, he's currently at 3,730 yards. Big talking point this week. He needs 270 yards in this last week matchup against the Lions to get to 4,000. Do you think he's going to do it?
This Lions defense is a good one to do it against. This game is in Chicago, I believe. So we'll have
It
to,
is in Chicago.
yeah,
Yeah. I was
we'll have
looking,
to
I was like,
keep an
oh, if this is
eye on the
indoor
weather.
Lions, like might
Yeah,
be easy, but no,
yeah.
I think at Chicago is going to be the one bugaboo for it.
I would not be surprised if it's just like absolute blizzard. It's just like Chicago is like cursing itself to just keep him under like 4,000. The video you sent me earlier today, our guest from earlier this year. Fantastic little look back on it. If he ends at 3,999, I mean, that would be some truly incredible uh, Bears content coming from that.
The video was so funny. He's like, we're going to get inside the red zone. We're going to have our offensive lineman chop block, get 15 yards penalties, get Caleb more room to get more yards. It was pretty good. Um, I will say though, with Ben Johnson with this team, Ben Johnson already said that this week they are not resting starters. They are playing to win this game. So that's a positive sign. Um, and I think Ben Johnson is really going to get him past that 270 number. I don't think it's close.
The
I think he
Yeah,
puts up big numbers and designs a lot of yak plays for some players to get open,
I
get in
think
space, get Caleb the numbers he needs.
I think to get him there, they'll have to be legitimately conscious about getting him there though, because what this Chicago offensive line can do to that Detroit run defense right now, like they might not have to throw the ball. So for
Mm.
him to get to the 270, I think it would be, a little bit scheming it up because really they could probably just run the ball with these two running backs and both have huge games and they might not really have to go to Caleb much.
Yeah, we'll start all starters on offense and scout team on defense. And
I mean, that's what
yeah.
Purdy was making it look like this week. Goodness.
So Lions, they're going to Chicago. Big game this week just for the passing number. And then Seahawks, they are going to San Francisco to play the 49ers. That's a big game for the NFC. Let's get to some other talking points. The NFC South, just kind of a wild scenario over the past week with the Panthers, the Bucks, with the Falcons winning yesterday on Monday. So this is how the Panthers can reach the playoffs. If they win or tie this game, they will be in the playoffs. Or if Atlanta wins this week versus New Orleans, they will be in the playoffs. The Bucks, they can still reach the playoffs, but they need some help. They got to beat Carolina this week and hope Atlanta loses. As a Panthers fan, what's your prediction? I mean, you're used to Panthers doing some Panthers things. So how are you feeling about this heading into week 18?
Yeah, everything has set up to be the most painful outcome possible. Obviously, the Saints have beaten us twice. We had a chance to beat the Saints, and basically, we would have won the division already a few weeks back. We lost that game. They've already beat us twice, so it would be incredibly, incredibly fitting for them to beat the Falcons after we blow our chance against the Buccaneers, and we're left out of the playoffs. Either way, this is by far the worst division in the NFL. Every single team in this division is negative point differential. Uh, it's been terrible football. I mean, whoever comes out of this, like if the Panthers make the playoffs, that's going to be like the most uncompetitive. They're going to host a playoff game, and they legitimately could be double digit dogs hosting a playoff game. Like if they're playing San Francisco, like I can see that being 10 points easy. So yeah, I mean, look, I think the Panthers probably. I don't know if they win. Like the odds are definitely in their favor, but it would be so Panthers for everything just fall in place and them still not even make the playoffs. I mean, this is a bad football team.
I think it's awesome how these games are on different days. So the Panthers and
Yeah.
the Bucks play on Saturday. So we're gonna find out the result um, of that game on Saturday. But like, if the Panthers lose the game, then you're just wait until Sunday to watch that game. Like all the players are gonna be antsy, hoping that ATL pulls out a win. But I do love how these games are on different days, so we can kind of feel it out and get the scenarios. All right, let's get to another talking point. It's week 18. I think only 2 coaches have been fired this year so far, so I do expect some more probably following this week. Who are the best coaching candidates from college, from pro, from anywhere in the world? Who are the best candidates to take an NFL head coach position going into next season?
Starting with my top candidate right now, he's been out for a bit, but Mike McCarthy.
Mm,
Look, he's won a lot of football games. Won a lot of games with Dallas. The biggest thing is not winning playoff games, but he had some good football teams. Won a lot of games. Did it in Green Bay. I think of the coaches available, he is someone that can come in and absolutely win you football games, turn something around. I think he is the best available option right now from what I'm seeing. At number two, this is maybe a little bit of a surprise. I got Clint Kubiak. He's the OC for Seattle. He's done some
yeah.
awesome, awesome things there. He honestly did some decent things in New Orleans. It completely fell apart like later in the season and stuff, but he's from that Shanahan tree. Obviously, the Kubiak tree was dad, but I think in the right situation, he could really do some awesome things. I think he'd be kind of. I see him almost like a Kellen Moore, what Kellen Moore has in New Orleans. Clint Kubiak to the Raiders would be really nice for him because that would be whoever goes to the Raiders, you have to give them like 4 years at this point. Like you have to give them a while. And I feel like the pieces in that offense, like Kubiak likes the multiple tight ends. Like I think with Mayer and Bowers, you have that. You have a good running back. Like I think, the offensive line obviously has to get fixed significantly, but I think it's a scheme that is very quarterback friendly. So whoever you bring in, probably, assuming they have first overall pick or something like a Mendoza, or whatever, Dante Moore, learn in the system, let him figure it out. You have like decent pieces around it to fill his offense. I think he's very intriguing. I think he's a really good young mind on the offensive side. And then on the defensive side, my third option, I'm going Brian Flores. Like obviously things went way south in Miami for him, um, coaching there. But look, like a lot of the issues he had was like him kind of feuding with Tua a bit, and like I don't know. It's kind of looking like he's on the right side of that. That like Tua probably is not that good anyway. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I maybe a little bit misunderstood there, and he's done some awesome things in Minnesota. Man, his defenses look not fun to go against. Jared Goff, his head was spinning, uh, playing against those blitzes. He's got 7 on the line every play. You don't know who's coming. Guys dropping out. I think he probably deserves another shot somewhere, and I think the way his defense plays is just really fun.
Yeah, I have Clint Kubiak at the top of my list. Like he started
Uh,
off really well in New Orleans for how it finished. I don't know if you can blame him. Kind of blew up there. What he's doing in Seattle this year, awesome. His name's floated out there a little bit, but it's not like the biggest name being talked about. I think Clint Kubiak definitely could get a look this year. I like your Brian Flores name. I have him down here as well. The way it ended with the Dolphins, with Tua, what happened there, he kinda got a bad rap, like, across I don't know. I kind of gave him a bad rap. Maybe across the league it was too. But what he's doing with the Vikings defense, I feel like his talent as a coach is almost going to waste with what he's doing up there. So I'd like to see Brian Flores get another shot somewhere else. It turns out, like as you're saying, like yeah, he may have been right with Tua seeing it early that like this guy is not the guy. And we need to have someone else. Last name I'm going to throw in here, a guy who I think deserves another shot as a head coach, and that's Arthur Smith. I think what he's doing with the Pittsburgh offense this year, I know we've seen the pieces start to dwindle away, but I like what Arthur Smith has done with the Pittsburgh offense this year. And he's the type of guy that's like not going to take crap from any players. Like he's going to tell them how it is. He's somebody who is not afraid to go into the locker room and tell the best player on the team, like, hey, that's not good enough. Like, we need better. I think he can build a culture somewhere. I think Arthur Smith probably deserves another head coaching spot somewhere in the near future. Okay, so we just talked about who are the best candidates for NFL coaches. Uh, there are only 2 open spots right now, but what are the best landing spots? This doesn't mean open positions, but what are the best landing spots for an NFL coach? It could be a place with a coach right now. But what are your top landing spots in the NFL?
Yeah, based on realistically what could have an opening, and I'm doing
Right.
this
Yep.
with an asterisk because I'm assuming in this scenario that Kansas City does not open up. I'm assuming that Andy Reid does
Well,
not
yeah,
retire.
yeah, yeah. In
If
realistic
Andy
scenario,
Reid
yeah, yeah.
if Andy Reid retires, which is realistic, but it would be Kansas City getting to go coach Patrick Mahomes. Like, yes. I actually have it at Tennessee. They are scheduled to have the most cap available in this offseason. They have some solid draft capital. They've won a few games, but it's still going to be an early pick, and it's an early pick where you're not quarterback needy. You're not having to spend that on a quarterback. You have the opportunity to maybe trade back and acquire more picks. Uh, there's some solid defensive players, some solid line players near the top of this draft. So I think that gives them some flexibility. This is, an intriguing spot to be. I think Tennessee, the Colts had a solid year this year, but who knows where that's going. Houston, like they're gonna have to pay CJ Stroud kind of soon. Like it's a situation like this. This division has looked strong this year, but I think there's still potential in the coming years. You have a quarterback on a rookie deal who has gotten better as the season has progressed. He just needs a little bit of structure, maybe some, maybe get him a nice play caller and see how things go there. But I think Tennessee is very appealing for the coaches that are out there right now.
All right, I got 2 landing spots here. One of them has an opening and one doesn't. First on the list is the Giants. I think that they have the right pieces in place there. Jackson Dart seems to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Obviously, he's dwindled down a little bit towards the end of the year, but he's proved that he can play in this league. You got Scattaboo coming back. You got Neighbors coming back. You got some good defensive pieces. If they got the right coach in the place, like I wouldn't be surprised to see the Giants win double-digit games next year. So I think the Giants is a potentially good landing spot. The second team I have here, if this coaching job becomes available, this is by far the best landing spot in the NFL. Let's say the Buffalo Bills get into the playoffs, which they will, and they bow out in the first round. And ownership's like, you know what? We've seen too much of this. Like, we haven't reached the Super Bowl. Let's change things up here. Sean McDermott, you're out. Let's get somebody else in here. Well, you just get Josh Allen in his prime. I think that automatically becomes the best landing spot for a coach. Could you see that happening?
I hadn't even considered that. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's
I'm
possible.
not saying Sean
I would
McDermott's a
be.
bad coach. I think he would get another job right away, but I think it's just kind of like hey, like
I
we've
would
stalled
definitely be
out here. Like,
surprised, but I don't think it's completely out of the question. Especially, they lost the division this year, and if they look bad, like I mean, they're going to have to retool for another Super Bowl window because it seems like this one is just not really working out. So, um, maybe I'm not going to say completely no on that. So yeah.
okay, yeah. I give it I don't think it happens, but if the Bills do bow out in the first round this year, I'm going 50-50 on whether McDermott's still there next year. I
Yeah,
do think they
I
get past the
see.
first
I
round, but
definitely see like other like like I see that in the realm of like a Harbaugh getting fired. Like I'd be very surprised. Like I think if
oh,
if you're looking at
I
like one
think
of the
Harbaugh's
top,
much safer than McDermott.
yeah, I think if you're looking at like top AFC teams that, like I think like Cincinnati would be like more like, okay, they could maybe move off of Taylor, but I don't know.
Cincinnati
We'll
is
see.
is they've said it so many times. I mean, that's such a poor ownership group. They don't fire coaches early. They run to the end of that contract and then figure it out. So I don't think Cincinnati's getting rid of Taylor, but I just want to keep the Buffalo Bills in mind there. All right.
Yeah.
Last talking point we're gonna get into here. It's the Indianapolis Colts. So this is a tough one here. They were 7-1 to start the season. They're looking good. Daniel Jones is feeling good. They're winning games. They're like, you know what? Screw it. Let's go all in. They get Sauce Gardner in a trade from the Jets. So they receive Sauce. The Colts give up their 2026 first round pick, 2027 first round pick, and AD Mitchell. This year, Daniel Jones, he was on a 1 year, $14 million contract. Next year, Daniel Jones, free agent. Did the Colts trap themselves with this move, going all in, missing the playoffs, and having uncertainty about the quarterback next year?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Look, with how the season started, you kind of get it. Like they had the opportunity to make a move, and they went out and did it. They had bad luck with injuries. I think losing your quarterback like that. They went and traded for Sauce, and now he's hurt. Like things did not work out there. I think I get why they did it, and you can argue bad luck, but at the end of the day, I think the schedule just set them up to fail. I mean, they haven't played the last five opponents are all playoff teams. The most previous opponent before that that's not a playoff team was the Chiefs in Arrowhead with Mahomes still healthy. So like they were completely set up to fail with this final stretch of the season, and they also play at the Texans this week. So that would be six playoff teams in a row to end the season. That's just brutal. I mean, I kind of get maybe they felt they had to go tool up for that, but um, yeah, it's definitely looking like they might be handicapping themselves a little bit going forward because they jumped the gun a bit here. Like their schedule was so front loaded with some easier opponents, and this gauntlet at the end, it was always going to be tough.
I think that's part of the problem, though. If they really looked at the schedule and said we're seven
Right.
and one,
No, I
like
agree.
how good are we? I mean, I think they were a good team, but I think they should have said like we haven't really beaten anyone yet. Like I'm
Hmm.
not sure if this is the time to go all in. And now
I
Daniel
agree.
Jones is hurt. He's a free agent. I think you have to sign Daniel Jones or at least tag him. They're right. I would think they tag him. What's the going rate on quarterback tags? It's probably up there in the probably close to 40 something mil, right? For a quarterback tag.
Yeah, I think it changes every year. It's attached to
It's
the
it's the it's a
salary cap, isn't it?
combination of it's a tag is you combine the top 5 highest paid players from that position and it's the average of that. So that's what the tag price is. But yeah, they're gonna have to pay Daniel Jones. I mean, I don't know what other options they're gonna have. You got no first round pick this year, no first round pick next year. So they're really banking on Daniel Jones staying healthy, playing good football, and then making a good run next year. But yeah, I think looking back, if you could tell Colts management, hey, you can hit the reset button and not do this trade, do you think they'd go back?
Yeah, I mean it has not worked out. I mean they did all this, they're not even making the playoffs. Like yes, obviously, but in the moment you don't know guys are getting hurt. You don't know how it's going. You're riding high off all these wins. Jonathan Taylor MVP talks. Like I get it. I get you get caught up in the moment. It's just unfortunate how things went. Obviously, if they don't have all those injuries and are sneaking in the playoffs right now, like they're still feeling good about it. I think they got a bit unlucky in the fact that the Texans and Jags have both gotten hot. Like this was not a division that was expected to be good, and this has somehow been probably one of the better divisions in the NFL this year. Um, you look at it, I mean, the Colts, what they did early in the season, and then more recently, the Jaguars and the Texans have been playing fantastic football. I mean, they got, they're, both won, Texans have 8 wins in a row, Jags have 7 in a row. Like, they're both riding hot. So, um, I mean, it's going back, it's hindsight, really. But, uh, yeah, I think the Colts would probably regret that one and, probably keep their picks there.
Listen, if they hit on some good draft picks over the next couple of
Mhm.
years, we'll never remember this. Hitting good draft picks fixes a lot of problems.
Mhm.
So I think they have a second, a third, a fourth. They have a couple I am not good at pronouncing words, and I don't know how to say this word.
Compensatory.
Compensatory. They have a couple compensatory picks at the end of next year's draft as well. So if they hit them, it could work out. But still, they're looking
Yeah.
pretty trapped right now, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Daniel Jones in the
The
offseason.
J the Jets are loving it, though.
The Jets are loving it. They have a gold mine of picks coming up
Mhm.
next 2 years.
Surely they won't waste them. Surely.
If the past has proved anything, it's definitely not that the Jets will waste draft picks. Absolutely not. All right, game of the week this week. We're gonna preview it. Ravens at Steelers. Ravens. They are -3.5. The over under is 41. The Ravens injuries. They got Lamar, who's questionable with a back contusion. I fully expect him to go this week. Even though Tyler Huntley played last week and looked good, I think Lamar's going to go this week. The Steelers, on the other hand, they are just riddled with injuries, or players out at least. You got DK suspended this week. Darnell Washington, we talked about, he's going to be out. TJ Watt, I was reading up on it. They're trying to make him go this week, but I am seeing absolute long shot to play, probably not. Calvin Austin, questionable. I mean, Rodgers can't keep throwing 2-yard passes all the way down the field and expect to win games. So yeah, what is your expectation for this week? How can the Steelers win this game? What are you looking to see?
Yeah, the Steelers won about a month ago in this game, and they won because they were able to stop the run, and it kinda shut down the Ravens, and they made it work, but I think the way that Baltimore's been running the ball, like especially in that game against Green Bay, like they had it going. That was some of the best push I'd seen from the Baltimore Ravens offensive line, maybe this year. So if the Ravens can run the ball, that's going to be huge for their offense. I mean, we don't know who we're going to see at quarterback, but this team has to be run first. They have to possess the ball. The biggest thing that I see, though, is actually on the other side. The Ravens, for the past month now, have just been getting torched by wide receiver ones. They're on a streak of 5 weeks in a row giving up over 100 yards to the opposing team's wide receiver one. They did it. Christian Watson went over 100 this past week. Diggs went for like 140. Jamar Chase, previous. DK Metcalf went over 100, and then Jamar Chase in the week before that as well. So that's
Interesting. Okay.
5 weeks in a row of the wide receiver going over 100 yards. There is no wide receiver one. There's no way for the Steelers to take advantage of that. Like Scotty Miller is not going for 100 yards in this game. It's not going to happen. Um, so I don't know what Pittsburgh's going to be able to do to take advantage of that kind of um, issue that the Ravens secondary has been having. So I, Arthur Smith's going to have to scheme up some stuff. My guess is like Kenneth Gainwell is probably going to be their leading receiver in this game, and it's going to be ugly and terrible. But I think the Steelers have to find a way. It can't just be running backs and tight ends. They have to find some sort of production from a wide receiver because that's how teams have been beating the Ravens lately. And right now, I just don't see how Pittsburgh's going to be able to do that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's gonna be up to a big game from Gainwell. Uh, I mean, if they shut Fryermuth down, there's really not a ton of other options. Jonnu Smith, like yeah, like you're saying, no wide receiver one. I think the Steelers are in trouble this week. All right, let's get to our power rankings. This is the last regular season power rankings of the year. At number 10, I got the Bills. 11-5. They can't defend the run. There's not enough playmakers. Josh Allen, every game they're telling him, go win the game for us. I don't like what I'm seeing out of the Bills. I got them at 10. I just can't find another team to put in there at 10. I was thinking maybe Chargers, but I was like, that O-line is so bad, I can't do it. So Bills in there at 10. At number 9, I got the Eagles, 11-5. They win this week, 13-12 at Buffalo. They have the number one offense in the red zone, and since getting Jalen Phillips, they have the number one scoring D. So this is a defense-led team. Eagles in there at 9. At number 8, I got the Broncos, 13-3. Win this week, 20-13 at Kansas City. 7-1 at home, 12-1 at home the last 2 years. So they're a great home team. They love winning close for some reason. We'll see if they keep it up. At 7, I got the Bears, 11-5. They lose this week, 42-38 at the 49ers. They lead the NFL in big plays, but they're also third in most big plays given up. So they get big plays, but they give up big plays. Caleb, the last 2 weeks, almost 650 yards in passing and no interceptions. He's on fire. At number 6, they're dropping down. I got the Rams 11-5. They lose this week 27-24 at Atlanta. They've lost 3 of the last 5 games. They're dropping. Special teams bad. If Stafford doesn't play unbelievable, like the Rams do struggle to win games. So, I mean, Stafford's got to play well rest of the season if the Rams want to have a shot. At number 5, I got the 49ers 12-4. They win 42-38 this week versus the Bears. 6-game win streak. Kittle was out. They still cooked. CMC still ran it well. This defense has given up points. That's the one issue with the 49ers. At number 4, Texans 11-5. They win this week 20-16 at the Chargers. 8-game win streak. Arguably the hottest team in the league right now. And yeah, this defense is unreal. So Texans at 4. At number 3, this is the highest they've been all season. I got the Jaguars 12-4. They win 23-17 this week at the Colts. 7-game win streak. Trevor Lawrence, the last 5 games, 109.7 passer rating. And I actually believe he set the record for the last 3 games this week for fantasy football. He had 98 fantasy points. And I think that was the most out of a quarterback ever through fantasy playoffs. At number 2, I got the Patriots 12-3. They win 42-10 this week at the Jets. Top 5 offense, top 5 defense. Drake May for MVP. Patriots are they're firing on all cylinders. They're gonna get their left tackle back soon, so Patriots looking good. Number 1 team here. I think everyone pretty much should have this team at number 1. It's the Seahawks 13-3. They win 27-10 this week at Carolina. Darnold 27 wins his last 2 years. Absolutely crazy. Where are the Seahawks weak? Like I don't know. Defense pretty solid. Offense cooking. Special teams, I like it. They're just a pretty solid team everywhere, and you got Seattle at 1. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's fine. The only sub I would have would be at 1 is the Atlanta Falcons on Monday night. But other than that, it's good.
All right, let's get into some fantasy football. It was championship week. Man, it feels like just a couple of weeks ago, we were telling y'all to draft Calvin Ridley super high because he's going to have a 6th season.
Yeah, that killed me. Whoops.
Killed me too. All right, let's start off with
Hmm.
what? Say it.
I'm a historically bad drafter, man. If you just, I need to like auto draft everything and then just coach it up throughout the year. I mean, waiver wire trades I can cook, but drafts have been killing me. Goodness me.
Let's start off
Anyway,
with our Wofford League then. So last year, we had an auto drafter win.
Yeah.
This year we came close to an auto drafter winning again.
Yeah.
Martyr won. Honestly, Ryan, shout out to you. You had a great draft. You had Puka Nakua, CMC, and Olave. Those 3 alone just like carried you all season. So congrats there. But that's crazy that almost 2 years in a row an auto drafter won our league. I
What does that
definitely
say
don't
about
put in
us?
I definitely don't put in like hundreds of hours of fantasy draft research and football research to lose, but
Goodness.
it's frustrating. So yeah, auto draft did pretty well this year, it seems like. Let's go to our I'm gonna say it right this week so no one makes fun of me. Let's go to our guillotine league.
There we
It's
go.
called the Razor. You finished 2nd in this league. So that we started with
Yeah.
18 teams in this league. Lowest scoring team each week gets eliminated. Not your week this week, but 2nd overall. How are you feeling about that?
No. Look, a guillotine league, you're supposed to get stronger as the year goes. I dropped more points in week 2 than I did in the finals week. That is not good. Gibbs, CeeDee Lamb, stinkers for me. Drake
I
London,
was looking at your
that was
guys' squad.
pitiful.
Neither of you guys
I
wanted Derrick Henry this week, apparently.
no, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I could have done that. I don't know. Look, you have the options of everything. I mean, I was close to starting Genty because I'm like, oh, he's playing the Giants. Like, he didn't even do any. It's not even like I had anything on my bench. My entire team pretty much was just not doing it. But shout out to McCaffrey for carrying me all season. Shout out to Trey McBride carrying me all season. Given there was an 18-team league and I walked out with my first 2 picks of Christian McCaffrey and Trey McBride, I feel like that probably got me through basically the whole season. So drafted fine there, but yeah, that was a fun time. That was my first time doing a guillotine league. Definitely would recommend anybody that's looking for something to change it up. It was a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, my first time doing it. I loved it. I hope we do it again next year with the same league. We had
Yeah,
18 people
absolutely.
in it. Yeah, I would check out guillotine leagues if you can. Super fun. Um, and then I'll give a shout out to one of my big fantasy football leagues. Will McDermott wins this league. The name of his team was the Ohio State Patriots. Big Ohio State fan, big Patriot fan. Basically, his entire
Can you
draft
think
was
of
just Ohio State.
anything worse? Goodness. All right. Anyway, keep going.
Basically, his entire draft was just Patriots and Ohio State players, and it was looking pretty bleak. But it turned out Ohio State and the Patriots both had a sick year, and he ended up having a sick year as well. So shout out there. All right.
Yeah,
Next week, say what do you got?
I'm a shout out Craig and Craig won my caddy Jeff's big league. Crazy little finish though in the final week. It was a 2-week long playoff. Came down to final 3 teams in a 2-week long playoff, and he spent his last dollar of fab picking up a quarterback without knowing that Brock Bowers was basically getting ruled out. So even though he had a nice little lead going into week 2, he had to run no tight end because he had no backup tight end for Brock Bowers and had no more fab. So that made for an interesting little twist to the final, but still took it down. First time for him winning the league. So congrats to Craig.
Bowers. It'll be interesting to see next year because he was injured all year, didn't have great quarterback play, terrible O line. So could be a nice little bounce back year out of Bowers. Shout out to Craig. Next week we'll try some fantasy football superlatives. Biggest booms, biggest busts, surprises, good draft
Calvin
hits.
Ridley.
We'll get into that. Yeah. Calvin Ridley, man, you owe me some money. Calvin Ridley was like a $28 million cap.
He's got some money too. Yeah.
He's got some money. I'm going to send him a Venmo request. Jeez.
Don't do that.
All right. Let's get into gambling.
I get those every once in a while. It is incredibly demeaning.
What, you get Venmo requests for the PGA Tour, people betting on you?
Yeah, it's infrequent, but I have had it happen a time or two, and it's like, buddy, I cost myself some money today. I don't need to be paying it out to you too. Anyway.
Funny. All right, let's get into gambling. Last week, not our best. I went 1-2. Andrew went 1-2. You hit 49ers. I hit Pats. The rest of them. Overall, though, we're doing okay. I'm 28-23. You're 27-24. Last week of regular season, we're definitely both safe over that 500 mark heading into week 18, but we still want to win some games here. So I'm going to take you through the lines. There was no Thursday game this week, and there is no Monday. So we get football games, but all condensed into Saturday and Sunday. I don't hate it.
A full slate of college football on Thursday. So playoffs.
Saturday, 4:30 p.m. We get Panthers at Bucks. That's a big one. Bucks are 2.5-point favorites. 8 p.m. Another big one. We get Seahawks at 49ers. 49ers are getting 1 point at home. Sunday, 1 p.m. window, the unwatchable window here. Saints at Falcons. Falcons minus 3.5. Browns at Bengals. Bengals minus 7.5. Colts at Texans. Texans minus 10.5. Titans at Jaguars. Jaguars minus 12. Packers at Vikings. Vikings minus 6. Cowboys at Giants. Giants plus 3.5. 4:25 p.m. window. Jets at Bills. Bills minus 7. Lions at Bears. Bears minus 2.5. Chargers at Broncos. Broncos minus 12. Dolphins at Pats. Pats minus 10.5. Chiefs at Raiders. Raiders minus 5. Commanders at Eagles. Eagles minus 7. Cardinals at Rams. Rams minus 7. Late night. This is the game of the week. All eyes are going to be on it. Ravens at Steelers. Steelers plus 3.5. What are your 3 bets of the week?
So going back to last year, what is this podcast? This is
it's a Fade
the Panthers podcast. You can call this hedging my emotions, whatever. At the end of the day, this is Fade the Panthers. Give me Tampa Bay minus 2.5. Give me New Orleans plus 3.5. It's going to be a disaster weekend. Panthers fans we're going to be sad. At the end of the day, missing out on not, watching us lose by 30 in the first round of the playoffs is not the end of the world, but still, it's going to be a sad weekend. Things will not go our way. There is also a scenario where, Panthers lose by 1 and my bet still loses, but I would probably go Tampa Bay money line in this situation. But anyway, Tampa Bay minus 2.5, New Orleans plus 3.5. Give me ultimate pain for the Panthers. And then last, I will take that Sunday night game. Give me the Ravens minus 3.5. Pittsburgh does not have a wide receiver 1 to threaten this defense. And I think the Ravens are just the better football team here and get it done. And complete the comeback to win that division.
The emotional hedge. I like it. I'm gonna ride with you. I like Saints plus 3.5. I think they win this week. Saints have been hot. I gotta give a shout out to Tyler Shugg, Kellen Moore. They're playing with so much dead cap money and they're at 6 wins. If they can get to 7 wins, man, that's a hell of a job out of the Saints this year. I got Saints plus 3.5. I'm going Cowboys minus 3.5 at the Giants. I think they blow the Giants out of the water here. Just end the season on a good note. Do what they got to do there. And then last one here, I'm taking Titans plus 12. They've been kind of putting it together the past few weeks. So last 4 weeks, Titans offensively, 26 points, 26 points, 24 points, 31 points. If the Titans can keep it going offensively, it's going to be hard for the Jacksonville Jaguars to win by 12. Plus, they played the Jags earlier this season, so they have a feel for them. 12 points is a lot. The Jags want to win this game. They want to get that 1 seed, but I think the Titans are going to make it hard for them. Give me the Titans plus 12. All right, Andrew with his emotional hedge takes Bucks minus 2.5, New Orleans plus 3.5, Ravens minus 3.5. I'm taking Saints plus 3.5, Cowboys minus 3.5, Titans plus 12. Lock them in. Those are our week 18 bets. That's all we got for y'all this week. Next week we'll do some fantasy superlatives, talk about some playoff matchups, some futures. Any last words for the podcast?
No. Panthers fans, pray with me, but we know how it's going.
We appreciate all y'all listening. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube at screenplay_podcast. Like and subscribe. We are on socials at screenplay_podcast. You can also check out our website, thescreenplaypodcast.com. New episodes every Wednesday, 8 a.m., wherever you stream podcasts. For your sanity, for Jason Schulruff's sanity, I hope Caleb gets past 4,000 yards. I hope the Panthers win. I'm not super concerned about the Patriots this week. I saw a nice text yesterday in one of my group chats, and they said fantasy football's over, and somebody compared it to it's like taking your ski boots off after a long day on the mountain. Just it feels good. You're done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. I don't know if you've been skiing before.
It's been a while. I
Yeah.
can't get hurt with my job.
All right, so yeah, that is true. Yeah, skiing and golf don't go great together, I guess. All right, we will see y'all next week, and we appreciate it.